Hi gents, this is Mr. Holding. This video is just following on from the overview of the assignment, and specifically looking at the marking guide and how you can use this to your advantage. Now, typically students haven't been using these, but I really encourage you to start being really familiar with these. Your teachers, regardless of the subject, will use this to mark you. Now, it's in your benefit to understand how that works, because you can then go ahead as you're doing it and start self-reporting and start grading and making decisions about where you are. Okay, so you'll see in this 9RE assessment there are 4 sections that you're going to be graded on: your retrieval and comprehension, analytical processes, knowledge utilization, and research and communication. Okay, and there's a brief explanation here. So retrieval and comprehension: student explore contextual information, so information about a certain context, in our case scripture and the way that the different Abrahamic religions view God. In this case, about God, how God is represented in 3 Abrahamic religions. So that's very specific. That's what you're going to be assessed on here. Okay, how you've explored information about how God is represented. Okay. Second one, analytical processes. Students analyze the concepts and facts of information relevant. So it's not just stating them, it's analyzing them. Okay. So the first one, you can just simply state facts. You're just saying this is, this is written. It's written that God is all powerful. Okay, God is almighty. All that kind of stuff. That's what it says. The analysis is you need to break it down and make meaning out of that. Okay, so it's higher order thinking here. Okay, and then the next one is knowledge utilization. Students assess the value of investigating the God of the 3 Abrahamic religions. All right, so you look at some facts. You've got them. You state them. It's retrieval and comprehension. You break it down by looking at meaning and things like that. And then finally, knowledge utilization. You're talking about why it's important. It's important to understand that the Jewish people see God slightly different to we do. They see the God in this light. We see it as a Trinity, and then the Islamic people, they see Allah in this particular way, and therefore this is the benefit of knowing that. So again, it's a higher level thinking as well. Okay, so each step we're working upwards. And now finally, the fourth one is your research and communication. So students produce a well-written and accurate expository essay on the God of the 3 Abrahamic religions. So it's about spelling and grammar, punctuation, paragraphing, the use of in-text reference and reference listing. So some of these, they're tick box. So if I go open it up, one of the first things I often do is I look for in-text referencing. Is it correct? And then I flick to the back page and look for a reference list. And if it's done properly, I just go tick and tick. Straight away, you're an A stand for that. Okay, if you've used properly, if there's multiple sources used, if they're good quality, if the referencing is done APA, all those kind of things. Then as I'm writing, I'm looking at spelling, grammar, and punctuation, and then I'm looking at your paragraph formations, how you've laid them out, and all those kind of things. So that's the first thing. Okay, is understanding the 4 sections you're being assessed on. The next one is these quantifiers. Okay, so retrieval comprehension, for example. You'll notice these in bold. The rest of them are fairly similar. In fact, quite often they're exactly the same. Okay, so the main difference is this word here. So in this case, for an A standard, the person has a comprehensive knowledge and understanding of the concepts and facts about God and represented 3 Abrahamic religions. So it's not just saying, in Judaism they believe this, in Christianity they believe that, in Islam they believe this. It's comprehensive. Okay, you talk about all the important things. Okay, it's not a matter of linking, but it's making sure you hit all of them. The next one is a thorough. Okay, and then obviously there's a judgment call between what's the difference between comprehensive and thorough. And then finally, satisfactory, variable, and rudimentary. Rudimentary, you haven't written much. Variable, you may have hit 1 mark, but you haven't got. Whereas satisfactory, you've got the basics, but you haven't really gone into depth. So to get these 2, you've really got to go into depth with the detail of, what are the important information about how those religions see God. Same thing for analytical process. Has critically analysed. Critically means you've been selective. You've talked about it. You haven't just stated the obvious interpretation. You've looked at something in depth. Has effectively done it. has competently done it, like similar to the word satisfactory. Yeah, they've done it. It meets the basic criteria, but you haven't done it effectively or critically. And then variably and minimally, okay, for the D and E standard. Knowledge utilization has very effectively assessed the value of investigating of God of the three Abrahamic religions. Really effective. We've talked about that. What it means to society, the level of it's important to understand each other. I mean, why is it important? Okay, has effectively assessed the value. So these two are fairly similar. Has competently, variable, and minimally again, and then finally research and communication. Has discerning and accurate communication, coherent and accurate communication, and appropriate and competent communication, or disjointed communication. All right, so by reading through these and reading through your own work, you should be able to make judgment calls going, you know, are my paragraphs discerning and accurate? Okay, I'm being selective, all right? I am being succinct in what I'm saying. I'm not just waffling on, okay? Or is it disjointed? Does it jump all over the shop? Does one sentence not lead into the next? Do paragraphs not flow logically? All right? Is my spelling, grammar, and punctuation not particularly up to standard, so I'm down here? All right? So by being able to look at these and make judgments on your own work, you can actually look at them and go, okay, well, yeah, I'm doing well here and here, but down here in this section, knowledge utilization, I don't think I am, so I need to do some work on this so that I'm effectively assessing the value of investigating God and three of them. I haven't done that, so I've got to fix that, and then hopefully that improves your marks. Okay, so hopefully you find this helpful. I really encourage you to use this and become familiar with this, with not only this subject but in your other subjects, because ultimately the more familiar you are with these, the more help you can give yourself when you're sitting down doing it. Okay, hope you found this helpful.